6:47 right now. A suspect remains in the hospital in critical condition. That's how we start out the morning rush. This comes after a shootout with two Albuquerque police officers. Now, around 3 yesterday afternoon, two officers were chasing someone who they believed had outstanding felony warrants. Police say that the suspect fired a single shot at one of the officers, hitting a piece of his equipment. The second officer fired his weapon at the suspect, hitting him in the torso. The suspect is in critical condition.
A house fire in northwest Albuquerque has left 4 people temporarily displaced. Albuquerque Fire Rescue responded to a call near Montano and Unser yesterday afternoon. The residents were able to evacuate before AFR arrived and were uninjured. The fire was brought under control within 20 minutes. Investigators are still determining the cause, but believe it to be accidental.
A 16-year-old is behind bars after police say that she fatally stabbed her father. On Saturday, APD officers were sent to the Arrowhead Point Apartments in northeast Albuquerque. That's where they found 49-year-old Robert McCall with a stab wound to the neck. Now, he was taken to the hospital where he later died. His 16-year-old daughter told police that she acted in her mother's defense during a fight between her parents. That teen is now facing 1 open count of murder. Ryan.
And a bit of a chilly start there in Moriarty. 24 and 25 Los Lunas, give or take, in some areas in the freezing mark range. 35 in the South Valley, but relatively mild. Sandia Park 42, 38 the Sunport, 39 Rio Rancho. Record high temperatures widespread today, but changes are underway.
The Albuquerque Sunport is feeling the holiday pressure as airport officials say they're seeing a surge in travelers. They estimate a 4% increase in holiday travel during the week leading up to Christmas and the week after. Despite the influx of travelers, those coming and leaving the Sunport say they haven't experienced any issues.
One person is without shelter after a mobile home caught fire in northeast Albuquerque early this morning. Albuquerque Fire Rescue was sent to the Carlisle Plaza near Candelaria in Carlisle for reports of a possible structure fire at a single-family home. The fire was under control within about 8 minutes and damage was contained to the back of the house. No injuries were reported.
Happy belated birthday to White Sands National Park. The White Sands National Monument was designated in 1933 by President Herbert Hoover. But in 2019, White Sands was officially named a national park. Park officials say since becoming a national park, White Sands has seen more than 700,000 visitors each year. Ryan.
After Christmas, changes underway. We'll see some of those changes in the form of clouds in the next several days. But despite clouds, even after Christmas, very likely warmer than normal all the way through even January 1st, but likely a little bit more wet and wintry.
Well, the iconic Bell and Kettle fundraiser that's happening for the holidays, and that's for Salvation Army, has been a staple for more than 100 years. But organizers say that this year the campaign is falling short of its goal. So far, the New Mexico campaign has only reached a little over half of its $620,000 goal. Officials attribute the slow fundraising to people having less cash on hand this year.
The Rail Yards is celebrating a successful holiday market as Christmas shopping comes to a close. Over the weekend, folks from all over the state were invited out for one last chance to visit the Rail Yards before they close down for the year. Festive goodies, last-minute gifts, and handmade stocking stuffers were the market's biggest hits.
Visions for an ongoing community project to revitalize 4th Street are being discussed by Bernalillo County commissioners. As part of that project, the county bought the former Southern Tire Mart shop for nearly $3 million in the hopes of turning the warehouse into a community hub for people of all ages. Earlier this month, commissioners, they also approved a notice of intent to establish a partnership with Yes Housing New Mexico. Ryan.
And taking a look at traffic right now, it's picking up a little bit, but no major incidents other than a disturbance that we're starting to see near Coors there. Taking a look at Tracker heading east on I-40, we do notice again more cars on the roadways. No major incidents on the roads right now, and more updates later on.
With Christmas just days away, the Albuquerque Biopark is helping Santa check his list twice to see who made the naughty or nice list. Goose, a white-nosed Kuwati Mundi, who will be making his debut in the public in the new year, made it on the nice list for his first Christmas at the Biopark. On the naughty list this year is Russia. Just 5 years old, the little black-furred gibbon has been causing trouble.
And now it's time for the 5 facts.
At number 5, the Rail Yards is celebrating a successful Christmas market. This comes as shopping comes to a close. Now, over the weekend, people from all over the state were invited out for one last chance to visit the Rail Yards before they closed up for the year. Now, this year was the 9th anniversary of the Christmas market event. Well, that success comes as organizers continue to explore the idea of potentially turning the Rail Yards into a year-round daily marketplace.
And number 4, visions for an ongoing community project to revitalize 4th Street are still being looked at by Bernalillo County Commissioners. As a part of that project, the county bought the former Southern Tire Mart shop for nearly $3 million in hopes of turning the warehouse into a community hub for people of all ages. Earlier this month, commissioners also approved a notice of intent to establish a partnership with Yes Housing New Mexico. The county is requesting $15 million from the state for that project. That'll also be discussed in the upcoming legislative session in January.
And number 3, record to near record warmth today. High temperatures in the low elevations, the highest of the week for today. High temperatures, many areas reaching the 60s and 70s. A few areas to the Four Corners to the north reaching the 50s, and the south and eastern areas in the low 80s. But closer to Christmas, some changes with some clouds and rain and snow for a few areas.
And number 2, the Albuquerque Sunport is feeling the Christmas travel pressure as airport officials say they're seeing a surge in travelers. They estimate a 4% increase in travel during the week leading up to Christmas and the week after. Early projections show rising numbers and fluctuating predictions. Sunport officials say Wednesday and next Sunday are predicted to be the busiest days. They also warn travelers to arrive at the airport with extra time. Despite the influx, those coming and leaving the Sunport say they haven't experienced any issues.
And number 1, a suspect remains in the hospital in critical condition this morning after a shootout with 2 Albuquerque police officers. Now, around 3 yesterday afternoon, 2 officers were chasing someone who they believed was on the top 25 auto theft offenders list and had outstanding felony warrants. Now, while the officers tried to wrestle the suspect to the ground, they say that the suspect fired a single shot at the officers, hitting a piece of equipment. A second officer fired his weapon at the suspect, hitting him in the torso.